Hello. Hi. I'm having some fun with this video. So it's a beautifully sunny day outside. The birds are singing. Don't know if you can quite hear them, but they're beautifully singing. The sun is shining. It's towards the end of spring and everything is blossoming. And on a day like this, where everything seems okay, it's not difficult for thinking to imagine that life is perfect and that there is a beautiful connection between all of life. But tomorrow may be wet and cloudy, gloomy, and then thinking we'll have a different handle on it. Probably. Thinking is constantly trying to get a handle on life. It's constantly creating a center in which life can be known. But this is just a play of thought. And there is a constant, eternal knowing of a deeper, intimate reality to life. And this is an impersonal, formless knowing of experiencing. And this knowing is simply and lovingly knowing itself. Just consider this for a second. Just contemplate it. What is knowing? Whatever is being known, what is it made of? And what is it knowing? Nothing can be known separate and other than the knowing of it. If something is known, then there is a knowing of it. And it is this knowing that is a universal knowing. This knowing is the same knowing. The thinking believes is based here, located and limited to a body, or located in and limited to a body. It is the same knowing that thinking imagines is located there and is limited to another body. But this knowing, this divine intelligence, is exactly the same indivisible knowing that is knowing and being itself. Beyond the idea of a somebody knowing something, there is this intimate, inseparable dance of knowing itself. And it is only thinking that imagines the indivisible divided. It is only thinking that imagines the separation of the inseparable whole of life. This is the reality that Eastern religion and philosophy has talked about for centuries. This is the reality, the indivisible reality that the Bible talks about. But it is thinking, in the West in particular, that has created its own dividing perspective and perception of the great, insightful teachings of the world. Beyond and prior to thinking, there is only wholeness. This incredible perfection that is knowing itself and never moves from itself and is never anything but itself. And this is a loving allowance and connection to and of itself. And this is why in spiritual circles it's not unusual to hear the term, there is only love. Because even in the most brutal or unimaginable pain, there is still only a loving and allowing knowing of itself. It is the substance of which all experiencing is made of, this loving, allowing knowing. So much of the spiritual search is based on and within the imagined sense of self. So much of the spiritual search is absorbed in entertaining the one that only exists in imagination. But that imagination and all that exists in it has an absolute mind and life of its own. And all that it seeks in the spiritual search is only ever for the sake of its own existence and its own entertainment. And what it seeks has never been anything, has never known anything but its perfectly whole self. So any suffering, any disconnection, any separation only exists within the thought that imagines it. life is this incredible intelligence, knowing and experiencing itself. And when this is realized, there is it is also realized that there is and never was anything to get. Other than from the imagined point of view of the mind.